manufacturing, obviously a booming industry here in Hamilton, where I am this morning, employing nearly 30,000 people. Now, most of those people work in steel mills, now dealing obviously with the impact of that 25% U.S. tariff. Joining me with more on this is Keenan Loomis. He is the president and CEO of the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction. Good to have you with us this morning on such an important day this morning. So let's talk about Hamilton. Hamilton, as we know, produces 60% of all of the steel in this country, which is an unbelievable number. What effects are you seeing so far with this 25% tariff?
Well, certainly we're seeing a lot of anxiety. I don't know of any job layoffs yet that have occurred. You know, the guys that are working on the projects and, you know, within the various verticals across North America, you know, they're finishing up their jobs right now. It's what's going to happen next over the next couple months, next couple years as well. I think that it's going to cause a lot of anxiety for this community.
And Keenan, I want to ask you about that in terms of what happens next, because when you think about it, 90% of Canada's steel exports go to the U.S. 90%.
Right.
So how should, in your opinion, how should the industry look to adapt, you know, if these tariffs are here long term?
Well, it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to export to other countries. Access to the U.S. market is so important to the steel manufacturers and to, I represent the steel fabricators. We're the ones that build things with steel. We engineer the steel, and we really only work in the U.S. outside of Canada. So protecting our access to the U.S. market is really important, which means if this is all about China, which is what we're hearing constantly, is, you know, the U.S. is going after China, we need to make sure that we're harmonized with the U.S. so that when we get into negotiations with CUSMA and the renewal of that, which hopefully will come after today, we want to make sure that they feel confident that we're not an end run around their border for Chinese steel.
Keenan, Hamilton is not alone. When we look at other Ontario cities, including Windsor, Kitchener, Brantford, Guelph, they all rank among Canada's top 10 most exposed cities when it comes to tariffs. This is according to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. What are your biggest concerns, really at a ground level, you know, if we are, you know, looking ahead, especially this is being such a big day today?
I think the biggest concern, well, it's because we're so close to the U.S. market, right?
Of course.
Like, we're just 45 minutes away at this point in time, and we're so integrated, 40 years of free trade between our two countries. You know, we've relied upon that. That's a contract, and we've relied upon that. What I'm most concerned about is basically the lack of confidence now, investor confidence, consumer confidence. It's happening not just here in Canada, it's happening in the U.S. as well. And so projects basically are just being paused right now while there's all this, you know, up in the air.
It feels like that, doesn't it? Just because there's just so much uncertainty. So when it comes to today being the election day and you look at the platforms, which is the party that speaks to you the most?
Well, the two main parties, we're comfortable with working with either one of them. We have up until this point, and we'll continue to do so going forward. They have pledged support for procuring domestic, supporting domestic steel in particular. So we're comfortable with that. I think the big thing for us as a country and for us as an industry, we just want to make sure that there's a majority government so that there's clarity going forward. We've got 4 years of certainty as to who our leader is, and then we can go into renegotiations with the U.S., which is what we expect is going to happen after today.
After today. Well, Keenan Loomis, thanks for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.